That's why the credibility of the left as a fighter of freedom has fallen apart. Today, the majority of the left has lost progressive goals and has abandoned its ethical values. It only serves to deny Israel and to repeat propaganda. In Spain, this anti-Semitic attitude has become almost single thinking, to the extent of turning it into the most neo-anti-Semitic country in Europe. Most Spanish newspapers deny credibility to Israel. Youth burn flags bearing the Magen David. Demonstrators shout in favor of Hamas, and debate is refused. Those of us who defend Israel's right to exist are demonized in many forums and websites and newspapers, and even threatened. Despite it all, I am optimistic, because an army of silent Spanish citizens begins to believe that Israel is not so bad. But they are still hidden in the closet. In Spain, and in many other places, speaking in favor of Israel is not well seen. The last Chamberlain is the realpolitik of democratic countries, prisoners of their energy needs. Because of that dependency, implacable dictatorships which oppress their societies are tolerated. And the oppression of millions of Muslim women subjugated by terrible law is tolerated. If the hatred of Israel is one of the great shame of the world, forgetting the Muslim women is another great shame. We are not worried by their pain because we have decided not to see them. Would the free world tolerate the oppression of black citizens today? Now, the United States has a black president, Mr. Barack Obama. Would Barack Obama tolerate a new racist South Africa? Then why does it seem natural that there are tens of Islamic countries which segregate women the very same way that South Africa used to do with the black population? Why do the women of Islam fight such a lonely struggle? Why don't we hear the voice of the Iranian leader for women's rights, Shirin Ebadi? Why don't we hear the Palestinian Samia Tamimi, who struggles for women's rights under the tyranny of Hamas? Or the Somali fighter, Ayaan Hirsi Ali? Why don't we listen to the Bengali Taslima Narim, who has to survive with 3 death fatwas? Or the Afghan leader, Fauzia Kofi, who has denounced President Karzai's new Shia state law, which will permit marriage of underage girls and allow rape in marriage? And so many others, authentic heroines of our time, suffering due to hatred, intolerance and oppression. You need them with the Jews who have suffered the anti-Semitic intolerance, and with the blacks who have suffered racist intolerance. It is the same face of hatred, only the victims change. Wednesday, Bernard-Henri Lévy said that the democratic Muslims are our allies. I agree with him, especially the Muslim women who fight for freedom in Islam. Why don't we hear their voices? Maybe because of the fear? Yet, who dares with Islam? Who dares with oil? One day, those women will conquer their freedom. When they do so, they will look towards the West and accuse us of having abandoned them, of complicity with the oppressors, and of treason. And they will be right. I told you in my introduction that my gratitude will be a shout against silence, a shout against complicity, a shout against indifference. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." The question is, have we consented? Now that Barack Obama wants to talk with the Iranian tyranny, and Spanish President Zapatero talks about the alliance of civilizations with other tyrants, we should ask ourselves, what is the meaning of civilization? I am certainly in favor of dialogue. As the Chinese strategist famous Sun Tzu wrote, supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. However, dialogue is only dialogue if it is based upon two foundations: the moral superiority of freedom over tyranny and the non-negotiable commitment with the victims. That is to say, there can only exist one alliance of civilization, the one that is based upon the Human Rights Charter. Any other option is not an alliance of civilizations. It's an alliance with barbarism, with the sole objective of gaining certain interest. Thank you again for this magnificent award. I will use it to give my voice to those that are not listening, to the families of murdered Israelis who never appear in the news, to young Gilad Shalit, who will soon have suffered 3 years of kidnap, to those children of Palestinian mothers who are trained to become martyrs, children who have the right to be educated for life, but they are educated for death. They are our cause too. I will use my voice to the beings of Darfur who die by the hands, to the girls who suffer enslavement and genital mutilation. Now, in 2009, I will give my voice, my little voice, to the victims, for only then will I be worthy of these awards. Trenches is the title of the last book of David Harris. Certainly, you are in the trenches of justice, in the trenches of human rights, in the trenches of freedom, and in the trenches of Israel, because Israel is the symbol all of those values. In these hopeful days of change, it's good to remember the words of President Obama. The President said, when Americans know that they have the power to change things, it's difficult to stop them. Do it. Let's do it. Let's change things. You can. We can. Thank you.